Luka Doncic is better than LeBron James. Here we go. Wasted, that was just for you. I had to do it. I had to kick it off. I had to throw some spice on the grill real quick. But now, so let's get right into it. What the hell happened to the two teams that were everybody's picked to make it to the finals again, to repeat, to have a rematch, and maybe the Suns get some redemption? What happened to the Suns and the Bucks?
I mean, for me, with the Bucks, what freaking the Greek Freak did in that series was incredible, man. He did some numbers, man. They said he had like what did it say? How many points did he have in the series? I forgot. I gotta pull it up. But he had 100 rebounds, all these assists. I mean, he played out of his mind. I just think that what happened with that series is Middleton being hurt.
Yeah,
Middleton is not a superstar, but he is a star player. He's the second banana, and him not being in the series really, affected some of their scoring. And Boston is ready. I mean, Jason Tatum has ascended to another level this series. You can see in his workout, you can see he has the weight. He's not frail. Marcus Smart is playing out of his mind. I mean, the Celtics are really, really ready to take that step forward.
Yeah, I got to agree with that. It's definitely Chris Middleton being out. They're, like Wasted just said, that's their second guy. When you lose your second scorer, that, takes a lot of the relief off Giannis when all the attention's on him. That's going to throw a tremendous wrench into things when your second scorer is gone. That puts even more pressure on Giannis. But Giannis was killing it. He was absolutely unbelievable. Like you just said, I think he scored 200 points in the series, and the rebounds and assists were ridiculous. Like his stats in the first quarter yesterday, I think were like it was something ridiculous. It was like 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists in the first quarter. Like it was nuts.
Better than the Suns.
Yeah. So I mean, Giannis was going crazy. But I mean, it's pretty cool to see the Celtics, even though they beat the Nets. I just like seeing different blood in there.
Different blood. The Boston Celtics, bro. Do you know?
He's just talking about recent.
I'm talking about history, recently, man. Like different team. In the East, it's always been LeBron. Listen, bro. I know they've literally played in like 50% of the finals, but I'm talking about in recent years.
Yeah.
It's nice not to see LeBron in there, even though I was always supportive of him. Kawhi, like all these older guys in the league. It's nice to see some of the young guys. And see if they could really prove themselves because, like you said, Tatum's at that point where it's like, are you elite or not? Because it's at the point where a couple years ago, it's like, this guy's going to be a star. And now it's the time where it's like, is he going to step up to that stardom? So I think it's a big series for him, beating the Bucks. But now they face a pretty good Heat team. And I think it's going to be a pretty evenly matched series. I think this one goes 7, 6 or 7, but the league is probably going to make sure it goes 7. You guys know how that goes.
Yeah, it's looking like that.
And then we'll see. We'll see if everybody stays healthy in the series. I have a feeling these are two like crazy defensive teams. Honestly, all 4 teams that are left are very, very good defensive teams, very physical. So I'm looking forward to the next series.
Yeah, let's talk about that defense. You saw what Jason Kidd did, what he put together for the Mavericks to come back from a 3-2 deficit against the Suns. They locked them up. Like Devin Booker and Chris Paul had I think they had 4 combined points at the half.
Yeah, man.
In that game. That's ridiculous, bro. And then so we got that, and then so you got Jason Tatum. You have some of these other rising stars, and Luka, he really put his name on the map for real with his performance in that game.
Yeah, man. Listen, the whole caveat of, this man talking about Devin Booker. A lot of people were talking about Devin Booker. He's ascending to that level, and he's inspired by Kobe Bryant and all of this. Listen, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that, man. And I don't want to be like Stephen A. and be like, listen, I don't want to hear anything about Devin Booker. being the superstar. You got to show up and play. You know, I don't want to go into my Stephen A nonsense, but I'm just saying, like, to be honest with you, Devin Booker really disappointed me, man. He really disappointed me. Now, Chris Paul, I think they kind of made a mistake by not sitting him. When they saw he was off, he really hasn't earned the right to get that kind of consideration from the Suns. I'm going to be honest, because last year, the run that they made last year, a lot of that was in spite of him. Them letting those younger guards, was it Cam Payne or Cam Thomas, one of them guys?
Cam Payne and no, Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson. My
Cam
bad.
Thomas is with the Nets.
But letting those guys play and playing more minutes. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Chris Paul's a little washed, and you can't build the team around him being your number one guy handling the ball anymore.
Yeah, and it was kind of crazy too. Like I was clowning my daughter's boyfriend is a big James Harden fan, and I was clowning him for what James Harden did in that game where the Sixers really needed a performance. He shot 2 shots in the second half of that game. Chris Paul damn near did the same thing in the first half. What was he, like 0 for 3 or something like that?
Yeah.
0 for 2 in the first half. Like there's people saying, oh, he was hurt, he was limping. Like, man, miss me with that shit, because this is the dude who was like, he's talking all kind of shit. He's like throwing himself into people and trying to draw this. Like, either you play through that shit or you get off the court, because like if you're gonna go out there and actually play and then you're gonna not take shots, I don't get it. I don't understand, and I'm not hearing it. What do you think, Ant?
I mean, the series was a great series, right? It was back and forth, Game 7. I think all of the slander that the Suns are getting is absolutely deserved, because they talk shit. They talk a lot of shit, man. You know, everybody in the league says it. People in the league have said that about CP3. There's a clip of one time CP3 and DeMarcus Cousins going back and forth last year in the playoffs, and you could read Boogie Cousins' lips. He said, "This is why nobody likes you, because he moves like a politician." That's what the rumors are around the league. Obviously, I'm not in the NBA, so I can't confirm this or deny this, but those are the alleged rumors going around. With that being said, like you said, they said he had a quad injury. Who knows the truth behind that or not? It could be true, but like you said, if that's true, just say it, because nobody wants to hear that lame excuse once the series is over. And yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the credit also has to go to Jason Kidd and what he's done with this Mavericks team. Midway through the season, they traded Porzingis, and people were questioning that move. They traded him to the Wizards for Spencer Dinwiddie and Bertans, and it was a great move. Dinwiddie's an absolute stud. He can come off the bench. He's hot and cold, but when he's hot, he doesn't miss. And I saw spurts of that when he played on the Nets. I was actually upset when he left the Nets, because I knew they weren't going to be able to afford him. And I was like, this is the perfect guy and the role player that they need in order to make it. You know, he's like that perfect 6-man or third, kind of third scorer that kind of flies under the radar, but he's absolutely skilled. And he went off last night. He was unbelievable. I think he shot over 50% from the field. Yeah. But Jason Kidd, defensively, you saw the rotations. There's a clip on Twitter right now going viral when he's like, stay, stay home. Okay, now go. And like the defensive rotations were just ridiculous in that game. They were making Booker uncomfortable. They were pretty much making any one of the Suns' primary scorers uncomfortable and making them facilitate to the less popular, or not less popular, but the other scorers on the team. Yeah. And then there was a major concern for the Suns, because a lot of those players aren't used to being in that position.
Well, they say that great players don't make great coaches, but I have to push back on that, because if you are a great player who had to be more cerebral to get the most out of yourself, you can be a great coach. And like Larry Bird was a damn good coach when he coached. Like nobody ever says that. They're like, oh, Bird he's so great, but Larry Bird was a great coach, and Jason Kidd is looking to be that as well. And there's something to be said for people who are tapped in and have experience and know what the hell is going on and did actually used to play defense. I think that's a lot of the problem with Steve Nash with the Nets. Steve Nash is really just a figurehead. He's a guy that they picked. And with Jason Kidd is a guy that people hire It's a difference.
See, I'm gonna have to push back on that a little bit. I'll agree with you that Jason Kidd was very, very good defensively in his career. When he was younger, towards the end of his career, he was always smart. He could always make people uncomfortable, make them want to do things that they didn't want to do defensively. And he was a big part of when the Mavericks actually won the championship in 2011. He kind of goes under the radar because he was like a super, super old veteran at that point. I think he was like 38, which in basketball years back then was like a 90-year-old playing basketball.
He got all chip.
And this is the thing with his coaching, right? He hasn't had a fair stint in his. People say that he was going to not be a good coach in this league because of his first two stints. The first one when he was with the Nets, when he was coaching Darren Williams, Brook Lopez, but then they made that huge trade to get Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. So at the end of the day, he was kind of coaching his old rivals. And that team really didn't mesh that well. Like, they were a winning team, but they weren't a championship contending team. And he was a rookie coach at that point, but you still saw the flashes of his genius. But coaching your peers is kind of difficult.
Yeah.
Then he went to the Bucks, and he was a good coach, but they didn't like his coaching style, and he wanted total control of the team. I think he wanted to be the GM along with being the coach, and they were like, "Nah, we're not letting that fly." So they kind of butted heads from the beginning. And he kind of got slandered by Giannis in this book, and there was a little pushback on that. But I don't think he got a fair shake of things. Now that he's on the Mavericks and he's coaching these young guys who are actually listening to him, you're seeing that genius come out.
Yeah, I mean, bro, so you're not pushing back on me. You're actually you're actually taking my point and elevating it.
Well, I'm saying with Steve Nash, I feel like he hasn't had a chance to really show his greatness, because now I will say his in-game adjustments have been terrible. But as far as personnel-wise, over the first 3 seasons, he's had different personnel. And with the COVID year, with Kyrie not being there, like, he's had to deal with so many different players. He hasn't really been able to coach a core. So the first season, Kevin Durant was out the entire season. It was just Kyrie and all those guys. The second season was like the weird bubble and all that stuff. And then this year, Kyrie missed like 80% of the games. So he's really, and then James Harden got hurt last year, and Kyrie got hurt last year. And if those guys didn't get hurt, they were going to win the chip. You gotta say how it is.
No, bro, you were playing the violin, and you were letting your fandom bleed through because you're a diehard Net fan. Bro, you mean to tell me with fucking Kevin Durant and James Harden and all of the other players that they have on this team that they couldn't string together a better run than that?
They were smoking the Bucks up 2-0 before Kyrie's ankle exploded last year. They were potentially going to sweep the Bucks, who won the chip
this year. This is what we're talking
about. This year, Kyrie missed like 75% of the season. James Harden is not James Harden anymore, and he wanted to skip out. The Nets were the 1 seed before Kevin Durant got hurt. I think people forget that. They were the 1 seed. Kevin Durant got hurt. James Harden started being a baby, forced his way out. Kevin Durant came back, put the team on his back. He brought them from 11th place to 7th place, all within like a month.
So you want me to give them a participation trophy?
No.
It's like, come on, bro. Steve Nash hasn't exhibited that he's even a good coach. And you said to show his greatness?
You're going to say he's not a good coach?
He's not a good coach. Steve Nash
How could you say he's not a good coach?
Because look at what he has, and look at look at the results that have been garnered. He's not a good coach, bro. Like
bro,
not for nothing.
I'm not even being a homer, bro.
He's a bad coach, bro.
He's not a bad coach. He's had a bunch of shit thrown his way, bro.
More credit. Because look at that Heat team. Nobody even talks about the Heat team. It's just like
Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in basketball. What's fucking with that?
Yeah.
He's the best coach in besides Steve Kerr.
And I would even say with Kerr, like, I don't know.
I mean, Heat culture is an entire system from the president down, from Pat Riley down.
Well, we know that's Riley's system. We know Riley got Spo in check, and we know that Pat Riley comes out of the booth and gets their asses ready. We know that. We know that's why Jimmy Buckets is playing out of his mind, because he's the kind of dog that Pat Riley brings in. Pat Riley you can only have dogs playing for Pat Riley. Jimmy Buckets is a dog. He ain't got the most ability of everybody, but the one thing he is he is one of the best two-way players in basketball.
He's not going to have a half like Devin Booker and Chris Paul had last night. Never. So let's talk. I want to. I appreciate this conversation, but I feel like we could go on forever until we see a little bit more to either prove Ant wrong or to maybe vindicate him about Steve Nash. I feel like we could just be beating a dead horse. I want to talk about this, the carrying of the torch of the NBA, and are we seeing the ushering in of a new era with Giannis last year taking home the chip, Luka challenging for a chip now that he's overcome the one seed in the West and everybody's favorite to win the whole thing. You saw AG put a parlay together where he had the Mavs were like plus 3,600 or something like that, and there was nobody who was expecting the Mavericks to come out and be in the Western Conference Finals except maybe a bunch of really diehard Mavericks fans. So, is Luka the next guy, and does the European connection play a big role in that? Because now you have the international game that is really expanding things.
Yeah, I mean, the NBA has grown into an international league after the 1992 Olympics and that, advent of Jordan going over there and, shocking the world. So, the game is a global game. But the main thing the NBA's been looking for a long time is a marketable player, a player that they can put on a cereal box. Now, LeBron James was that for a while, but LeBron has his detractors for certain reasons or whatever. But the one thing that the league is always in favor of is a Caucasian superstar, and they have that now. They have two of them, and the league is going to shove that down everybody's throat. No disrespect to anybody. I'm just saying that is what the league wants. They know that's more marketable. It's more marketable globally because, not in America so much, but in the world, Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is the most marketable player right now. He really is.
Well, I think to add on to that point, you're 100% correct. And it's not even like a race thing or an ethnicity thing. It's just people tend to tune into people that they can relate to. And it's just a fact that a lot of Caucasian people are going to naturally have something to relate to with Luka. So he's the perfect marketing asset for them. Same thing with Jokic. If you talk to a lot of older guys, a lot of people, I've heard people say, like, I haven't watched basketball since Larry Bird because I really can't relate to anybody. Like, that's a very common thing.
Say that. Bro, how many guys throughout my years since Bird's retired said, I love the NBA when Bird was in it, but, since Bird's been gone, I really can't get into it. And it was Steve Nash was in the league. He wasn't the guy that was going to move the needle, right? But the thing that makes Luka and the Joker even more marketable and even more relatable.
People say that's the conspiracy why Kobe didn't win the MVP one of those years too, because they wanted Nash to grow more marketable person.
Yeah, they did. But I think what makes them even more marketable has nothing to do with skin color or ethnicity. It has to do with full dad bod.
I was about to say dad bod.
Yo, full dad. Yo, dad bod.
It seriously looks like some softball beer league shit.
Nation, brother. Listen.
Thick frame nation. Here we
go.
Don't bring that
nation.
Raider Nation Unlimited bullshit over here. We don't do thick frame Mondays, okay? You gotta come up with something else.
Listen, it's just listen.
Oh shit, they made you cups now?
Yes.
Oh my god, the world is done.
Hey, yo.
Thick frame. Listen, we have cups. We have bottle warmers. It's thick frame nation in the place.
He said hookah Luka magic is thick. Hey yo. To be honest though, I did text my buddy yesterday and I was like, it makes me feel a lot better about myself that me and Luka have the same type of body and we could just eat whatever we want and still be decent at basketball, except Luka is a million times better than me. But it does make me feel a little bit better about myself when I'm out of shape.
Luka will go get a burrito and a fucking beer and go out there and drop 50 on you. Like Luka's up all night, fucking girls and playing video games. Like he's lifting weights. You know what I'm saying?
He's relatable. There we go.
Listen, and I'm gonna say this too, like there's something about the way that he did what he did last night where he was having a blast.
He's a killer.
He was just all in their shit, just like he's like, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, he's looking over at the bench and laughing. And
well,
like,
I think
it was.
I think people forget that he won the EuroLeague championship and was the MVP at 17 years old. So, like, this is really nothing to him. And in one of the previous interviews, when they're interviewing Jokic, they're like, "Are you worried about Miami's, culture?" He's like, "I wish you could come and see what it's like to play in Europe, brother." Like, this stage is really nothing for him. These Europeans, these games overseas, people are bringing like flares and fireworks into the stadium. Like, what's the worst? Somebody's going to call you stupid or another bad word here at in America. So, like, Luka's been on the stage since he's 16. Yeah. He's not nervous. He's very, very comfortable, and he thinks that he's better than everybody on the court. So,
and you know what? Most of the time, he's right.
He's right. When he's in his zone, good luck.
Yeah, but you know what? I think Luka magic ends in Golden State. It ends because Draymond Green, nobody plays the game.
Right. That's what I was going to say. He
See,
he is. Yeah.
See, this is my thinking. Draymond's not going to be able to slow him down defensively. I think he's going to do things to get under his skin and get him out of his mental game.
Yep. And Draymond Green used to slow down LeBron James. Draymond Green is not something that you just overcome the first time. Now, I know Luka is a great player, and I know Luka is used to dealing with really good defenders. I remember when he schooled Kawhi Leonard. He didn't school him, but you know what I mean. He was giving Kawhi buckets.
Yeah, you're right.
He was giving Kawhi buckets. He gives everybody buckets. He's giving LeBron buckets. LeBron's giving him buckets. He gives KD buckets. The difference with Draymond Green is that Draymond Green can take all of his energy moving the basketball and trying to get Luka off his square. When he goes up against other superstars, they still have to score and they have to carry the load just like he does. Draymond doesn't have to do that. He can just sell out to stop Luka, and I think that could be a problem for them based off of the fact that Golden State got guys coming off the bench that can help you carry that load offensively. So God help you if Draymond's on your ass the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, that series is going to be very interesting because the Warriors are going to play more of a small ball type of offense. But like I said earlier, both these teams are very, very good defensively. My only concern is on the rebounding aspect because the Mavericks got some big dudes and they rebound the ball pretty well. So
they got the Mavericks, biggest dude in the league, Boban.
You don't really play, but they might just throw him in. They might just throw him in there. You see, he was about to mess up a Holiday at the end of the game.
Oh my God, he was about the barbecue.
Yo, bro, his hands are like this.
Well, let me say he's about to take. It's like a rack of ribs slapping somebody. You see them hands, bro? He's about to. Yeah.
He was talking to Chris Paul. He used like half his back. He's like,
he put his hand on. He grabbed him by his head. He said, "Come here, your little ass over here."
He sunned him.
He grabbed him by his head. Yo, give me your little ass over here, son.
Yeah, man. But the Warriors, I don't know, man. It's going to be a very, very interesting series. They're like I said, they're going to play small ball against the Mavs. We'll see where that takes them.
Chad, it looks like the Blair Witch Project. Your Wi-Fi's acting up, brother. Yo.
Yeah, I don't know if
Chad, can you hear us?
I told him his camera's been blurry.
Chad can't hear us. I think Chad is frozen, everybody. Well, listen, what we're gonna do is
he don't play though.
Oh, he's definitely frozen.
He's definitely frozen. Is there? If you play though,
there we go.
Thank you. Oh my God,
the Bash Brothers.
Yo, so let me ask you a question. What is?
Somebody said Chad got redacted.
He definitely got
redacted.
Jabari
said Chad got
Yo, Chad got redacted. Yo, they came and got him. So,
all right, go ahead. My fault.
So let me ask you a question. What are your predictions for finals? Who do you got in the finals? Who you got taking the championship based off of how everyone's playing right now?
Bro, this is very, very tough for me because, as I said in the first round, I think the Celtics are going to be in the championship. I think they're going to win. Just based off their defense, they got two guys that could score. And then if Al Horford is playing the way he did in this previous series, they're going to win because he played phenomenal. He stepped up when when the Bucks, were taking care of Tatum, making it hard for him to score. My only thing is with that series with the Heat, they got PJ Tucker and Jimmy Butler that are tremendous defenders, and they're going to give those guys a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but conversely, Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown are great defenders as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So from the East, I got the Celtics coming out. I think it's going to be a very, very close series. The thing is with Miami is that Jimmy is going to have to do a lot. And the Celtics were able to slow down Kevin Durant and Giannis. No disrespect to Jimmy Butler because he's a phenomenal player, but he's not Kevin Durant or Giannis.
Yeah.
So is Jimmy going to be able to go off? Or are the Heat going to have to play real team basketball in order to beat these guys? Because Duncan Robinson has been out of their lineup. Tyler Hero's been hot and cold. But with that being said, the Heat do have more depth. They could play about 10 guys. So it's going to be interesting. So I think
shots.
Exactly.
They all can make shots. And that's the thing about the way the Heat are built as opposed to a lot of these other teams. You have a lot of other guys that got a lot of throwaway garbage minutes when you bring them in. Guys that you bring in for the Heat, they can score. I'm sorry, Ant. Go ahead. Damn, what's going on? Ant got redacted now too?
Damn, I didn't even know that was happening.
What the hell is going on here?
All right, but y'all couldn't hear me earlier?
No, couldn't hear anything.
That was weird because I was like talking back to y'all and everything. I was having a conversation with y'all and nothing was happening.
We were saying stuff back to you. Ant got redacted, Chad got redacted. Now it's me next.
All right, you're up next. Yeah. But I actually feel the same way. I think it's going to be Warriors and Celtics. I do think that the Mavericks present some challenges. I think it could go any way, any combination of those teams. But my money would be on Warriors and Celtics in the finals. And then I don't know. I want to say that I think the Celtics would win that finals, but I don't know. It's hard to go against the veteran moxie and everything of the Splash Brothers and that whole, especially with Jordan Poole coming into his own, and actually like they wouldn't be where they are without him. Damn, Ant's gone again.
Yeah, and shit. Him, Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, Wiggins balling. It's funny how like they just kind of put this little low key team of like either all-star or just below the radar, not quite all-star type talent together, Yeah. And it's a very, everybody just looks at Clay and Steph. And then, you get a little bit of lip service to Draymond and stuff like that, but it's that team, the way that they play and the way that they move the ball.
Mavericks are winning that series.
Okay.
Hey man, from your lips to God's ears, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, you picked you said the Celtics would win the whole thing if they won that series against the Nets. So far, you're not wrong. Better than somebody else on this podcast who said it was definitely going to be the Bucks and the Suns.
That's all I gotta say. Thick Frame Nation. That's the only thing that's been going on with me. Listen, wasted from time to time have to make here we go. Not the pause button. But listen, from time to time, I have to make a bombastic and noteworthy prediction. And I don't think what I picked was wrong at all, man. It didn't, I didn't know that Chris Paul's a geriatric. Who knew? But
my bad, my connection's all messed up. I don't know what's
going on. It sounds like you were in a project hallway right now. It sounds terrible.
Sorry.
But not for nothing. I am not wrong much. And the next time that you're wrong, which is probably the next thing that you say, Chad, I'm going to make sure that for the rest of your life, you hear it.
Bring it on, baby. I am not afraid.
Listen, so listen, guys, I told you, Golden State versus the Celtics, like your life depended on it. And I got Golden State taking the chip.
I can't disagree with you there. I kind of feel the same way.
I'm going to go with the Mavericks and the Celtics. I got Celtics taking the whole thing. That's my prediction. Not too confident with the Western Conference, but I'm being bold. I think the Mavericks are hot right now, riding the wave, buying the stock on the way up. Hopefully it doesn't crash.
All right, so real quick, before we head out. Luka, Jason Tatum, and if I'm missing somebody, please throw it back at me. Luka, Jason Tatum, Giannis.
Wait,
Like,
Rule
do we have? No, Ja Morant.
or Morant?
Do we have? Do we have a worthy group to carry the torch for the next era of the NBA?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, they haven't done enough yet because a lot of these guys like Ja Morant. I was saying that last week. If he stays healthy, if and only if, the way that he plays,
a lot of violence in the way he plays.
Yes. Now Luka looks like he can play 20 years. The thing with Luka is he's not in the best shape, and as you get
600
heavier,
pounds in 20 years, bro.
He's on the Paul Pierce plan.
I'm just, you know what I'm saying. As you get older, injuries pile up, and if you don't have that muscle to fall back on, that could be an issue for the big Lukester.
He might be on the K Perk plan. He's not big careful.
I mean, with the Shrek plan.
I mean, these guys, it gets a bit frustrating. At times we talk about the GOAT conversation all the time. Who's the best? Who's the best in the league? Who's the best upcoming stars? Like, I love these conversations. But Waste is 100% right. We're granting these guys too early. Because they could 100% turn out to be the greats, but I feel like it's just been so common, and that's all they do is talk about the main sports stations. Is they're just giving these guys their flowers before they really deserve them.
The low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, exactly. And in a couple years, let's see where they're at. There's a ton of potential, like you said, Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, LaMelo. But LaMelo's got to step up. This is 2 years in a row they lost in the playing game. And the Warriors are still idiots for not picking him. They picked Wiseman over him. If they had LaMelo right now,
oh my God,
they're gonna regret that. I'm telling you, they're
James
so dumb.
Foolishman. But that might be one of the only mistakes the Warriors have made in this run. They don't make many mistakes personnel wise,
Would they get Draymond like 39th overall or something like that?
Yeah, bro. I mean, like even when they brought Mo Buckets in that year.
Yeah,
when they brought Mo Buckets in, Mo Buckets got them some buckets, got him a chip, and got out of there.
He did what he needed to do. That's right. And then they had Leandro Barbosa at the end of his career, and he did his little, 15, 20 minutes of buzzing around the court like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing I do like about all of these teams. For the most part, they were built either through the draft or through smart GM moves. It wasn't like players forced their way to the teams. The Warriors were pretty much built through the draft, their core. The Celtics, Tatum and Brown were both in the draft. And then Robert Williams, Time Lord, all these guys were pretty solid late round picks. And the GM moves, like Al Horford, anybody in the league could have had Al Horford when he was on Oklahoma City. That was a great pickup for them, and they're most likely going to re-sign him. Heat, like we said, Heat culture. I guess Jimmy Butler kind of forced himself there, but there was a red flag with Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
a lot of people didn't want him.
Bro, people were talking mad shit about they're like, enjoy losing for the rest of your fucking career, Jimmy Butler. They were talking mad shit about him, especially the Sixers fans.
That's the thing I was talking about earlier was with Heat culture. He's perfect for the Heat culture. Like, he likes that real militant lifestyle. And then, playing style. And then the Mavericks, Luka, he went 5th in the draft.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy, bro. You could have had 4 other teams that he could have been on, and he slipped. And then the rest of those guys are solid. And like I said earlier, Spencer Dinwiddie was a good GM move. Brunson was through the draft. His trade value has gone way up. So I like the way these teams are constructed. They're all good defensively. They all play team basketball. So I'm really excited for these series.
Spencer Dinwiddie, Captain Crypto himself.
Nice cat. Look, man. Nothing like poverty to motivate the shit out of you.
Yeah, hey, my man WZZ, he sound like Stephen A down there in the chat. He said the Warriors could have picked Tyrese Halliburton over James Wiseman, and they would have been set.
Yeah, I mean Halliburton. I like Halliburton, but I don't understand
Tyrese
how you don't
Halliburton. I want the Knicks to take Tyrese Halliburton.
Yes, Luka went 3rd in the draft, but he got traded for Trae Young, who went 5th. So I say he went 5th. Sorry.
Yo, listen, my man,
thank you for tuning in.
WZG, yeah, don't be
sue me later.
please don't be arguing with one of the many men of order. I got next army in the place to be, man. I forgot to share this on my community tab this week, man. My bad, guys.
All good. We're good.
It's all good.
So let him see it. This is not this is one of those that's timeless.
Yes, it is. Damn it.
But yeah, I want to say, like what you said, Ann, about the way that the teams play defense and the way that they play team basketball. If there's anything that I have appreciated about this, it's that this isn't a whatever conference finals weekend or setup for the next couple of weeks, where it's all these like super teams that were manufactured.
Yeah,
these four teams, a real purist dream.
These 4 teams feel like late 2000s or mid 2000s basketball, where it was like grit and grind. You had 1 to 2 solid guys on the team, and then a bunch of solid role players who just did their thing. Obviously, most of the role players now can shoot threes and all that. As we saw, Grant Williams had 7 or 8 threes yesterday, like ridiculous. I think he took 22 shots, bro. Like taking 22 shots as the 4th scoring option on your team is ridiculous.
I don't think he took 8 threes his entire career at Tennessee.
No, he didn't. He didn't, man. It was crazy. But that just shows where the league is at. But with that being said, I do feel like these 4 teams have that mid 2000 to late 2000s type of basketball. The 2011 Mavericks were constructed like these teams. So I'm excited for the championship.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. A lot of fun basketball to watch.
I think that's a good place to wrap up, fellas.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank y'all for joining us. Wasted Talent in the place to be. You got Ann Bailey, and I'm Chad. I got next. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace. Thank y'all for joining us.